Hi there, I'm Sue Resig, and you know what? It's a busy night, and my kitchen looks it, and that's just the way it goes. But it's been so long since I've done a video for you, and I thought, well, you might as well see how I'm fixing dinner tonight. So I'm having beets, and I just want to show you how easy beets are. All you do is give them a good scrub, just like you would your potatoes. I've done those too. I've got these beautiful beets with the greens on. And see, I just give them a good scrub, get them clean. There we go. And then this is what you do. You want to leave a little bit of that stem on there from the greens. Maybe a ½ inch. You don't need more than that. And don't cut that tail off. You leave that on. The reason why you don't want to trim your beet before you wash it is because you want to leave the juices in the beet. When you cut that, a lot of the juices will bleed out into the water when it boils. So I've got these 3 beets washed. Just going to trim those greens off. Like that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I'm going to give them a little rinse in my distilled water. There. Now I'm going to put them in my pot. And then I'll just cover them with water. You'll cook these the same way you boil your potatoes. You're just going to cover them with water, bring them to a boil, turn them down low. However, beets take a long time. They can take anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half, depending how big the beets are. So start checking at an hour with a fork. See if it's tender. If it's not, give it another 15 minutes. I find an average size beet like this takes about an hour and 15 minutes to be tender. And those really big beets will take an hour and a half. So I'm going to put this on the stove and we'll come back in a little bit. Okay, the timer went off actually quite a while ago, but we were eating dinner and I just turned them off. They ended up taking, actually these beets ended up taking about an hour and a half, but I had it turned down so low they cooked very slowly. Slower than usual. So here's what they look like. And you can see they're nice, they're fork tender. I can pierce them easily. You know, they're not soft, soggy soft, but I can still pierce through them. And I'm going to just drain them. Yeah, I'm still cleaning my kitchen. It's been a long day. And they're hot enough that I'm not going to peel them now. I suppose, you know, if we were eating them for dinner tonight, if I needed them to be ready for dinner tonight, this is what I would do. I would stab it with the fork because it's hot, and I would just trim that top off like that, trim the bottom off like that, and see the skin just scrapes right off. Nothing to it. Very easy. So you can do this when they're hot. If you want to have this for dinner now, and when you're done peeling it, you can cut it in half and just cut it nice slices. It's very nice that way. Serve it with a little vinegar over it. Very tasty. If you want to put a dressing on it with your flaxseed oil, you'd have to wait for them to cool off a bit. You can't put it on the hot beet. But that's how you peel the beet. What I'm going to do is let these cool off some more because I don't need them tonight. And tomorrow I'm going to make a beet salad, and if everything works out, I'll show you how to make a nice beet salad with them, okay? All right, see you in a minute. Okay, it's the next day, and I have beets, and I have potatoes, and I have everything I need to make the beet salad. So let's get started. To make this beet salad, we're going to start with the 3 beets that I cooked yesterday. I boiled 3 potatoes this morning, and normally I would use half of a red onion, but my store has run out of organic onions, so I'm actually using a shallot. They had shallots instead of onions, so I'm going to use a shallot. And it calls for a little dill weed, some apple cider vinegar, and when you go to eat it, you can add your flax oil. So in order to get started, this is the beet that I peeled last night. I'm going to go ahead and peel the rest of the beets as well as the potatoes. We don't need that skin now. Now that it's been boiled, all the goodness is in the flesh and that eating that skin now doesn't really matter as much. So I'm going to go ahead and get that peeled off, and then we'll come back when I have everything ready to go, okay? All right, I've got 2 of the beets and 2 of the potatoes in the bowl, and I saved the last 2 just to show you how I sliced them up. Of course, you can slice them your own way, but I like to slice them in half. Just so you know, I try to do equal proportions of beets to potato, and depending on how much I have, like if these were large beets and large potatoes, or I had 6, I would have used more onion to go with it. But I'm slicing them in half, and I'm going through it 3 times the other way. I'm going to end up with a nice dice with this. You can tell the nice soft potatoes. These were Yukon Gold that I had. I find they tend to cook up a little bit soft. I was debating which potato to use for this because I also have red skin, and the red skin potatoes cook up much firmer. A Yukon Gold is very nice if you want to make mashed potatoes. You don't even need a liquid to mash those. Once you cook them soft, you can just mash them with a fork, and they turn out very nicely. You don't need to have liquid, whereas other potatoes, you know, you really miss having that milk in it. These you don't miss. So I've got my beets cut up, got the potato cut up, and I'm going to mince this shallot and get it nice and fine. I like to have that onion flavor mixed in throughout. Chopping there. I don't know if you can get shallots or not, but like I said, I prefer a red onion. I find that red onions tend to be a little bit milder when you have them raw than a yellow onion, but you'll just have to use what you can find, what is available in your market. You could use leeks, you could use green onions, you could use chives. If you wanted, any of those would be fine. I find shallots to be quite tasty, although I have to admit, when this one must be from a different variety or something. Boy, it was a little bit peppery when I went to eat it the other night, when I had this batch of shallots that I bought. But I think they'll settle down once they get into the vinegar, into the salad. Okay, now there we go. There's our salad, and here's a very scientific method of measuring. You will see I do not measure. I just put in what looks good. This is my dill. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want my vinegar. There. I think that looks good, don't you? And then we're just going to give it a nice stir. And that looks very tasty. I never liked beets until my friend Tanya shared with me a Russian recipe for a beet salad. This is a variation of that salad that she showed me and taught me. And there's something about putting the vinegar and the dill in there that just makes all the difference. It cuts that, the term would be cloying sweet flavor of the beets, and it cuts that so that I think the beets are delicious now. I absolutely love beets, and that's what it took this recipe for me to learn to love beets. Now, it's all ready to serve. You can serve it this way, or if you want, you can put a little flax oil on your serving on your plate when you go to have it. Sometimes in a large salad like this, I don't like to add the oil because I don't know how much I'm getting when I go to eat it. So when I put it on my plate, I'll add my tablespoon or a half a tablespoon of oil to it just to kind of finish it off. So there you go. There's a nice beet salad, and I hope you'll try it because it's a good way to try beets if you've never had them before. And it's an easy, simple recipe that's tasty. Thank you.